Welcome back to Chow Time Pods. Your host, Red. I got a video today from Modern Dating here.
Me and you are done.
I don't care if
This is
you...
our last conversation.
Why are you
though.
flinching?
I'm scared. I'm scared.
You're such a
I'm
liar.
scared right now.
This woman probably lays her hands on this man all the time.
No, this is our last conversation together. I promise.
Oh,
Apparently, he had had enough and no longer wanted to be in that relationship. But it seems she doesn't agree. She doesn't want to let go, and that's why they've found themselves in this situation.
Been cheating on him for 3 years with his best friend. We had 2 kids, 3 and 6 years old. And he could have walked away, should have walked away, could have. And when all this came out, and I hid it for 3 years in the church, when all of this came out, he looked at me and listen, a good therapist knows your feelings are valid and you can feel all of those things. He was mad. He was hurt. He was confused. He was disoriented. All those things were still true. None of that was underscored or not a part of his experience. But what was also a part of his experience, because he had been submitting and surrendering to the Lord so faithfully for so long.
why the hell are you tearing up and crying?
Was he literally looked at me, and all I expected him to do was exactly what every man had done in my life, my dad, all these other men, was to leave.
Yeah, when you make horrible mistakes and horrible decisions in life, that you're a horrible person, people tend to leave you. Yes.
And instead, he looked at me and he said, Casey, I don't know how to not love you.
He did his best to keep his relationship, but I know most guys wouldn't be able to do it, as that event wouldn't get out of their heads, especially since she did it for this long. It wasn't a one-time thing where she had a bit of a drink and lost control. She was seeing someone else for 3 years, and at this point, it became something meaningful, so most wouldn't be able to overlook it.
I hate the manipulation that these women, use. They're tearing up, crying, and acting like as if they were the victim this whole time when they're explaining the actual victim.
That is when Jesus became my Lord. That is when I got grace for the first time in my life. I realized that is what Jesus had been saying to me all along. You don't understand, girl. You can run from me. You can hide from me. You can be mad at me. You can do all these things. And the reality is, I don't know how to not love you.
Guys, leave, because this is a perfectly acceptable response too. Infidelity is a biblical reason to divorce a spouse.
Correct.
You can still love someone and leave. It's called boundaries, accountability, and self-respect.
Damn right.
3 years? I'm sorry, ma'am, this is not it.
Nope.
I couldn't do it. It's not like it was one time, but 3 years? 3 years? The main reason most guys
Again, she plays the victim as if it was so hard for her.
choose to leave
All
after
this
infidelity
bull.
is because once it occurs, there's a high probability it will happen again, especially when the affair goes deeper than a casual one-time cheating. In this case, she built an entire relationship with another person that lasted 3 years. At this point,
You have a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old. So for pretty much the whole time that you gave birth, after you gave birth to your newest child, you had an affair the whole time.
I wouldn't be surprised if her ex even doubts whether he is the biological father of their child.
Ooh.
With that said, I'm glad things worked out for them. After all, to each their own. Before moving on to the next point, I'd like to touch on something she said.
And all I expected him to do was exactly what every man had done in my life, my dad, all these other men, was to leave.
Did you notice how she positioned herself as the victim?
Correct. That's why I
Stating
said
that
it.
she expected him to leave and do her wrong, just like her father and every other man had? Based on that statement alone, it's clear that in her mind, he shouldn't leave because if he did, he would be doing the same thing other men in her life have done, even though she was the one who cheated.
Correct.
And not just once. Bear in mind, this affair lasted 3 years. That was an entirely separate relationship.
I don't think age is an excuse for cheating, but I will say I cheated on my ex-husband. That's what ruined our marriage.
Say shit.
But I was my brain hadn't developed yet.
Oh, it still hasn't. Clearly,
Yeah.
as we can see there.
No accountability
whatsoever.
ever there. Yeah. I'm getting tired of doing this shit because I
Runs over a pedestrian with their car. It's not my fault. My brain isn't fully developed yet. Brain hasn't developed yet says yes to a lifelong commitment. I swear. Where are the parents? I swear everyone has an excuse under the sun. Why they cheated but can't take accountability for their own mistake. Her brain hasn't developed until today and probably never will. The ironic part about this clip is that she began by saying age shouldn't be an excuse for cheating. Yet in the same breath, she used that very excuse to justify her own infidelity.
Yep.
That was interesting. Rather than admitting it was a mistake that should never have happened, especially considering it destroyed her marriage, she's trying to get a pass by playing the age card. I can't help but wonder how she would react if her current husband used the same argument to justify his own cheating. I doubt she'd keep the same energy. Can you imagine if we started accepting that kind of excuse? It would only make things more complicated than they already are. She was mature enough to make that decision, so she should be equally accountable for everything that comes with it.
Me and you are done.
I don't care if
This is
you-
our last
Right.
conversation.
Why are you
though.
flinching?
I'm scared. I'm scared.
You're such a
I'm
liar.
scared right now. This is
You-
our last conversation together. I promise. God damn it, Dave.
That's why he's flinching.
Exactly why he flinching.
Sad part is he still got one more coming for flinching.
Yeah.
He never should have flinched. He knew it was coming. She couldn't resist. He should have flinched the second time. Usually when we want to understand someone's situation, we ask questions to assess their case properly. But sometimes there's no need for further questions as everything is already on display. This is one of those cases. If we pay attention to their body language, it becomes clear who's playing which role.
Correct.
It's evident that he's had enough, and at this point, he just wants to end everything for a fresh start. But she is not having it. If asked, she wouldn't even know why he's unhappy or wants to end the relationship. This reflects the reality of many couples. We just don't see it as often because people either choose not to make their issues public, which is understandable, or
Good.
they simply never had the opportunity to record it. Situations like these can easily spiral into drama for those involved. That's why those who manage to record such moments are doing a great job, as they are protecting themselves from any false claims. Did you catch the moment when she
Dude, you probably can't even file assault against her for doing this. But if any man was to lay their hands on a woman, she can file assault on him.
asked him why he flinched?
This is our last conversation.
Why are you
though.
flinching?
I'm scared. I'm scared.
You're such a
I'm
liar.
scared right now.
The truth is, she knows why he reacted that way. He knows what could have happened. It was a reflex based on something he had already anticipated, and that anticipation turned out to be justified. People don't
They didn't anticipate the second one, though.
flinch for no reason. They flinch when past experiences have conditioned them to expect a certain outcome in similar situations.
It's good reflexes. That's what flinching is.
Feel free. He's a cheater. Cheater.
It's so dumb. You
Cheater.
do realize you're still with this person, that you're
Look at the cheater. Turn
believing
around
her.
for your fans. He had a 2-year affair while I had his second baby. We intentionally had a second baby, and he was having an affair the whole time.
The fact that no one cares.
Yeah,
I get the point, but isn't this public embarrassment for both of them?
correct.
This isn't the win she thinks it is. I can clearly see why you had an affair. I don't blame him. This short clip raises so many questions. What's the point of it? What is she trying to accomplish by embarrassing her husband to this extent? The fact that he cheated isn't enough reason for him to be publicly humiliated. Now they're both in the wrong.
Yep.
With that being
I mean, it just makes her look bad too, right? Now, why are you with the cheater?
said, I have to admit he also plays a role in this.
Of course.
He still had a choice, and there was no need to go this low in an attempt to fix a marriage. Why did he agree to be put in such a position? I'm not sure if she realizes it, but she's unnecessarily embarrassing both of them.
Yep.
This entire situation could have been avoided if they had chosen to resolve their issues like adults. Not everything needs to be made public. Some matters are better kept behind closed doors.
Like, why would you want others to know that your partner has an affair on you, especially if you're still trying to work things out? Just keep it private. I mean, people don't need to know about these things.
That's something they both should have considered.
Only 1 minute on the clock.
telling my girlfriend she has 1 minute to ask me anything, but I only answer yes.
And you can ask me whatever you want, and I'm gonna answer truthfully, but I can only answer yes or no.
Have you ever cheated on me?
Yes. You got 1 minute.
She wanted this.
Who with?
I can only answer yes or no.
When did you cheat on me last year?
Yes.
Bro! You set yourself up. I don't like this game. And I don't like you so far for doing this. Because you sound like a Tukey type.
Was it with a girl or a boy? Was it with a girl?
Yes.
Do I know this girl?
Yes.
Is this girl pretty?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Are you lying to me?
Yes.
Oh. Alright. Alright. Alright.
That's so funny.
Something else.
This is why you don't advise a woman in love. She literally heard a confession, then found a way to disbelieve it. She's better than me. The video would have ended on the first yes. She's patient. My ex would have started swinging. Thankfully, this young man has a very patient and calm girlfriend. Because if she had a different personality, things could have gotten out of hand from the very first answer.
Hands would have started flying.
All I have to say is, don't try this at home.
Don't.
This especially goes for those who enjoy this kind of game and think it might be a good idea to play it with their girlfriend. Don't do it. There's a high chance you won't like how it turns out.
It's definitely a stupid game. I definitely don't see the results happening very similar to this, like what this gentleman has. Because most women are gonna get upset once you say yes, you're cheating. You know, like they're not gonna understand that you're just lying to them or you're playing a game with them. So why get them upset for no reason just to play a little prank? And I think that almost always ruins things later in the relationship too. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. I really appreciate that. And